try to, I think, make things better or more flexible to help them out. So, I mean, if yes, we have wonderful folks on that board. We have at Harford County last night, the biggest applause line of the night was for Dr. Felder. So roundly well liked and respected leadership there. This gives, and I trust their judgment. When they came to us and wanted a possible solution, then we come up with an amendment. They go on the record this morning saying they're for it. I think we'd be wise and move forward in that way. Thank you.
Okay, so let me, I see 3 more questions. Let me ask the question with Dr. Felder or Mr. Walker. So the bill that you originally asked to have drafted, which we drafted, which you've seen, that concept was the grouping 3 districts and 3 districts together that you can pull from instead of the whole county. Because it seems like there's a lot of delegates that are having the issue of not being in district at all. Your bill originally, was in district 2 different groups opposed to 6 groups. Would you prefer that as well, as this amendment, or give us your feedback?
Dr. Felder, I can start. Please forgive me. I don't know the parliamentary procedure here, guys. And if we can go back,
you're fine.
Let's say this: either one will work for us. The bill that we put forth was 3 members from the grouping of 3 districts, and then the other 3 from the other 3 districts, and then you'd have 3 at large. That works for us. Senator Gallian's revised bill gives us even more flexibility, but either one we would be happy with. It's just this one will give us a little bit more. Right. Dr. Felder, I'll defer.
And I will just add, I agree with Trustee Walker. Also, I wanted to make the point that when we submit names, because we know the governor's office does review to make sure there is geographical representation. As I said earlier, we don't want our recommendations rejected. So we will continue to ensure that there is geographical diversity when we submit. Because there is that, we are aware that there's that added scrutiny, so which has always existed. Right. And so, as Senator Gallian pointed out, we've never had, that I'm aware of, our recommendations rejected, and we certainly don't want to start having that occur. So
okay. Thank you.
We will make sure that we monitor that.
Okay, also. We do have some more questions. I'm going to go to Delegate Griffith and then Delegate Steve Johnson. Delegate Griffith.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And just to follow up some of the conversation here. So, and I certainly deeply understand and respect Delegate Johnson's concerns. As someone who grew up in Aberdeen and Edgewood, went to Aberdeen, graduated Joppatown, I understand sometimes growing up on that side of 95, you feel underrepresented countywide, and I respect that and grew up feeling that very much. With that being said, of all my concerns I have right now, Dr. Felder's commitment to diversity is not one of them. I have no doubt they will be good stewards of this. And again, we can't see the future, right? We can't see how these winds blow. But with the governor and the process, the robust process between the governor and the General Assembly making these confirmations, and frankly, knowing which party is in power, and certainly the General Assembly in power for probably many, 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 many years, if not forever, I think there's just too many guardrails on this, and I don't see how we don't satisfy everyone's concerns because of that.
Hey, thank you, Delegate Griffith. Delegate Johnson.
So my final question is, under the at-large bill, is there ever a possibility, and I'm not talking about the choices made by Dr. Felder or the current board, but is there ever a possibility with the at-large bill that the applications that the board gets all come from one area, and then those names are sent up to the governor because those are the only applications that they get?
I don't know, Mr. Walker wanted, I find that would be unlikely or almost impossible, but I don't know if Mr. Walker would have more insight.
It's highly unlikely. First of all, we're not sending a list of 20 names. We're sending one name to the governor at the time, and that's after doing our due diligence and actually vetting everyone. Is it possible? Theoretically, yes, but I can't see how, if we're actually doing our job and making sure that we are diverse and we're actually looking at the entire community, that's going to happen. And I'd just like to add something to, Delegate Griffith's thing. I mean, I'm a graduate of Edgewood High School, class of '84. I actually worked on, with the Route 40 corridor. I'm actually Rams for life. So it is very, very, very important to me. I'm very tied to the community on that side of 95, that we see a very diverse board that actually is going to help emulate what we're doing there at Harford Community College. So this is near and dear to me, and just making sure that this works properly.
So have we ever had more than one vacancy at a time on the board?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Okay, I see another question from Delegate Andre Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning, all. The question I have is that once a name is submitted to the governor and then it goes to the Senate for their approval, the Senate can either vote it up or vote it down, right? And then it has to go back to the governor. I'm not understanding the process here.
Sure. So once it's submitted, once it reaches the governor and it goes from the governor, it goes to the Executive Nominations Committee. And, they have hearings and they, look at applications and do some research. And then that full committee, similar to the way a committee would send something to the full floor, it's just another committee, it would send that positive, they'd vote. And once that, it would go, then it would go to the entire Senate. So once it reaches that point, all 47 vote to confirm or deny. And normally they're very few, if a nominee raises a flag or something, you might get a couple votes in opposition, but normally they do a really good job through the Executive Noms Committee of vetting. And by the time it gets to the entire floor, it's normally not very controversial at all at that point.
So what if the nomination goes up to the governor, he selects someone, it goes to the committee. Does the committee then listen to the entire Harford County delegation that says, they're for this person or they're against this person? What happens if the delegation doesn't quite like this person and then that person is rejected by the Senate?
Sure. So that's an outstanding question. And just so everybody knows, Senator James is a member of the Executive Noms Committee. But normally the way it works, so say if it's if the nominee is from District 35, I would actually introduce that person. Or if it's from District 7, it'll be Senator Jennings. District 34 would be Senator James. So normally I haven't seen a time where an appointment like this has not been supported by the local delegation. Honestly, I think if it was somebody like controversial or something, we would most likely hear about that, and there would, I think at the local level, the three of us, if we raise questions, and also keeping in mind that Senator James is on that committee, I just don't see it ever getting to that point. I think the college does a good job, and then the governor and the past governors have done a good job of getting the right people, getting them sent over, and at that point it's almost formality because we haven't had any controversial nominees or anything. I mean, you see what the makeup of the board is now. So we haven't had that issue. But yeah, so to answer your question, yes, if the local Harford senators had an issue with somebody that came over, we could make some noise and probably go to that committee and get that kind of sent back, or have them possibly have to send another name if there's not support.
Okay, thank you, Senator Gow. I just want to maybe make a couple comments that might clear up maybe a little bit of confusion. So currently, and correct me, Dr. Felder or Mr. Walker, if I'm incorrect. So currently, under your current process, you go out, say District A, okay, you go out and you choose folks that come in and fill out application in District A. You go through those, you come up with the names, you send those names to the governor. Is that correct?
We typically send a name.
A
to the
name,
governor.
okay, a name to the governor, and then he appoints them. Okay, so this doesn't really change anything. Currently, all 6 in-district members are chosen by the board through the application process, and then they go to the governor and the governor appoints. This will do exactly the same, but your pool is larger and you
Right.
can pull more applications, do those, and you send a name to the governor and the governor appoints. So the appointing process that the governor has authority over currently will remain the same. So there's no change. Because I know there were some things like, okay, well, we're taking, maybe, local control away from the college and the county. But in this case, I don't really think that is true because currently that's the process. The governor is making the appointment. It's just Harford County decided to pull the names per districts and then the 3 at large. So we're just changing it where 9 are all at large. So I think that did that make sense to everybody?
Yeah, Madam Chair, but we're still adding people to the board, correct?
No, it was
No?
currently 6 in district and 3 at large. Now we're making all 9 at large.
The board is made
Same
up.
number of board members. Mr. Walker.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to jump in. The board is
No.
made up of 9 members. It's always going to be 9. The issue was trying to get all 9 because we'll have a few that are actually going to have, vacant spots. What we're trying to do is accelerate the process to be able to put that one person, if there's a open board seat, put that person forward to the governor. That's all we're trying to do here. Everything above that, it's kind of, out of my pay raise or my pay scale at this point. We're just trying to fill those seats that we have, not add more seats.
And if I may add, Madam Chair, I did talk to Dr. Street, and I think we even brought up at the pre-session thing about the number 9 total, to see if that was the right number. And Dr. Street told me he thought that was a good number because, potentially you could have changed that from
Right.
to 11 or 7 or whatever. So I think the consensus was from them that 9 is a good number. So that's why
Okay.
we left that total number alone.
Okay, I think we had a robust discussion here on this particular bill. So I believe we may be ready to vote again. The Senate has already passed the amendment and put it onto the bill. So our first order would be to vote on the amendment. If that's what the House body would like to do, I would need a motion first and second to do that. Do I
Madam
see a
Chair, now,
motion?
this amendment is to be at large, correct?
Yes, all 9 members at large, and then the final appointment by the governor, which basically is the same as we have now, pretty much. So that's the amendment, and you do have that in your packet. Do you have the amendment in front of you, Senator?
Yes.
Would you like to read that for us?
Sure. It says, it says 9 members appointed at large, add to the extent practicable when appointing the members of the board, the governor shall take into consideration the geographic and ethnic representation of Harford County so that all segments of the population of the county are represented on the board.
Okay, so that is the amendment. Do I have a motion on the amendment? Okay.
Move the amendment.
I'm sorry, Delegate Griffith.
Move the amendment.
Okay, so I have a first to move the amendment. Do I have a second? I will second. Okay, so I will second the motion to the amendment. And now we need Janine, if you could take the vote, please.
Vice Chair McComas.
You have to take your speaker off. You're muted.
No.
Okay. Janine,
Delegate Erickson.
Yes.
Delegate Griffith,
Yes.
Delegate Andre Johnson,
No.
Delegate Steve Johnson,
No.
Chair Rowley.
Yes. Okay, Janine, if you could tell us what the vote count is, please.
3 for yes, 3 for no.
Okay, so the amendment fails. Okay, are we at this point want to discuss another possible amendment or go right to the bill and vote on the bill as it was currently dropped? In the House, that is. Okay, so we're holding the bill completely. Delegate Johnson.
Okay, so I have a question on the House bill. So is the amendment about the allowing 45 days to accept the application?
That would be another amendment. That was just a suggestion.
Okay.
Or the bill as it currently is. There was a problem, I do believe. I would let, Dr. Felder, Mr. Walker, speak of that one, but I believe the 45 days would just make it, back to the same situation that they're currently in. So that amendment most likely will not work. They would, if, Senator Gallion's amendment did not pass. They do like the current bill and it will work, that they originally dropped. Which basically they're going to do the exact same thing, except their pool is within 3 districts and 3 districts instead of 1.
I'm good with that bill,
Mm-hmm.
as long as we could make sure we did not get over 2 members on the board from each district.
Okay, that would be easy to fix. Okay. Let me finish the questions and then we'll come up if you want to make a motion of some sort. Okay, Delegate Griffith.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And once again, this isn't a situation where we're trying to reinvent the wheel for the sake of reinventing the wheel. Certainly not trying to fix something that's not broken. It's clearly broken, hence the vacancies. And I have no doubt the folks from the college would not be investing their time and energy into this if it wasn't a real problem. So, I've always said if, a lot of times the company, if the answer is this is how we've always done it, is the justification to not do something, then that's a problem, right? And so I just don't want to not move forward on this if the best explanation we have is this is how we've always done it. So I think this is a step in the right direction. I certainly hope we can support the college in their efforts here.
Thank you, Delegate Griffith. And just to point out to the House members, we want to be able to, this is a problem, as Delegate Griffith just mentioned. We would like to help the college and foresee, to make it easier for them to actually get trustees and board members. The Senate, again, has already passed that bill. You know what it's like when both bills are different. It makes it a little bit, a bigger challenge and a more compromise, and time is always not the best on our side. So just keep that in mind. It is still possible, to have 2 different ones and then maybe, one change it later, but it does make it more difficult. And we would like to do something for the college. So Delegate Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the board and Dr. Felder, the House bill where they grouped 3 different districts together, and I see they kind of did north of 95 and south of 95 combinations. So that is still a decent mix of geographically of the county. Do you think that would solve your issues? That and possibly reaching out for more help in recruiting? Would that give you a big enough pool, do you think?
Dr. Felder or Mr. Walker?
Yes, are you talking about how the bill is currently?
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
The House bill, correct.
Yes, sir. I think, first of all, I love your idea of getting your help and the councilman district members getting your help as far as looking at new candidates. That coupled with the bill that we put forth, yes, sir. I think that would I know that would help.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And on Delegate Andre Johnson.
Madam Chair, what's the time frame for us to take a vote on this? Because if we could table it for today for me to get some more insight on this and to really make a informed decision on how I should vote on this, then I would ask that we table this until next week.
Well, it would be good. I have to drop it on the 8th next week. I would like to drop it by the 8th date so that we are guaranteed, a hearing and so forth, so that the bill can move forward through the process. So that is our drop date, I believe, 5 o'clock on the 8th. So the 8th is a Thursday. So we could wait until next week if that's what the body would like to do. Is that what, so you would like to wait, Delegate Andre Johnson?
Yes, Madam Chair. If we could, I'd like to make a motion to table it for this week so I can make a better decision.
Second.
All righty, and then we have Delegate Arcan, that's second. So will LR 1566 will be tabled until next week, February the 8th at our meeting. Thank you, and Dr. Felder and Mr. Walker, sorry, you're more than welcome to come back next week. Sorry, you're like 3 weeks in a row, but this is the process we go through here.
Sure. We appreciate that, and we'll be present to answer any questions you still have.
Okay, we will send you the link. So thank you so much for answering our questions today, and we look forward to seeing you next week, and hopefully we can get something passed for you. So thank you. And Senator Gallion, thank you I know you have a meeting you have to pop off. Thank you for being here and explaining your amendment, the Senate amendment, and we'll keep you up to date.
Thank you. And conference committee is always an option. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Have a good day.
Okay, you too. All right, so we'll move on through the agenda. So we're not going to discuss the amendment that Delegate McComas and I kind of bantered about, because that one's not going to work. We already did Senator Gallion's amendment. So now we move to LR 750, Harford County Board of Education, appointment of members and alteration. So Delegate Andre Johnson, if you want to recap, I know you spoke about it last week, and then we can go ahead and take the vote.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Just for the body's edification, I want to thank you all for your comments and consideration last week. I will be withdrawing this bill.
Okay. Thank you very much on that. So we will mark your notes. LR 750 was withdrawn by the sponsor. Okay, we'll move on to new business, and that's the Liquor Control Board appointee vote. And I sent ahead of time so that you could possibly call her if you would like, or interview, look at her resume. So if there's any discussion about the appointment, if there's no discussion, then we'll go ahead and someone can make a motion to take the vote.
Make a motion to take the vote.
Okay,
Second.
I see no questions. I see a first to go ahead and vote from Delegate Arcan, second from Delegate Steve Johnson, and Janine, if you could go ahead and take the vote. Oh, we got
Delegate
you off
McComas
mute.
is missing. Delegate McComas is missing.
Okay, we can come back to her, see if she comes back. Go to the next person, Janine. Thanks. You're on mute.
My apologies.
Okay.
Delegate Aragon,
Yes.
Delegate Griffith,
Yes.
Delegate Andre Johnson,
Yes.
Delegate Steve Johnson,
Yes.
Chair Rowley.
Yes. And then I still don't see Delegate McComas. So I guess you will mark her absent.
Noted.
Okay, and please give us the vote count.
5 yes, 1 absent.
Okay, the motion passes. So we have Bang Tam Miller has received majority of our votes. So we will, the chair, myself and the secretary will be sending a letter to the county executive within that 7-day period. That letter will go out today, showing our nominee. Okay. Do I have a motion to close?
Madam Chair, make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. And okay, so that was Delegate Andre Johnson made a motion to adjourn and Delegate Lauren Erickson second. All right, thank you all. It's a good meeting and we got through. See you on the floor. Thank you everyone else for coming.